All right. So as a reminder, this flow chart is on your Schoology page. It's in the ionic folder and it's in the covalent folder. We have now finished ionic, so we're going to be talking about covalent. Covalent is super easy. So that's why I like teaching you ionic first, because there's so many different levels to it. But now we're going to be talking about covalent. So remember, with covalent compounds, instead of them transferring electrons, they're going to be sharing electrons. And you should be taking a few notes, okay? You should catch on pretty fast, I would think, but you do need to take a couple of notes. All right, so with covalent, you're going to be sharing electrons. So a lot of times you guys were asking me about, hey, when we get to the section of the periodic table where it's plus or minus 4, how do we know if it's plus 4 or minus 4? And I said, don't worry about it. And that's because typically when you're dealing with those elements in that family or in that column, they tend to bond covalently, which means they tend to share electrons. So no one's really giving away electrons and no one's really taking electrons. What they're doing is they're sharing them so that they can feel like they both have 8. Okay, so they can feel like they both have 8. So now we're on this covalent side. All right. It's super easy when it comes to naming and writing the formulas, all right? But you do have to know something that we call Greek prefixes, okay? The hardest part after this point now is going to be not mixing up the rules for ionic with the rules for covalent, all right? So the first thing you need to make sure you have notes on is Greek prefixes, all right? And you're probably super familiar with them already and you just don't know it, okay? So now we're on the covalent side. We say they share electrons, okay? And how the way we can tell that they are covalent is because it is 2 nonmetals. It's just that easy, okay? It's 2 nonmetals, all right? Where are nonmetals on the periodic table? Are they on the left or right side? Let me show you the periodic table. Here's your periodic table. Where are nonmetals? They are on the right side. So remember, there's a staircase that's kind of right here. Okay, there's a staircase. So now we're dealing with, look how small this side of the table is. We're just dealing kind of like with this side of the table, super small. Okay. All right. So this is covalent. All right, so covalent, all right, when you have two nonmetals, okay? All right, Greek prefixes. This is the part that I want you to get ready to write down. We're going to do, some of these are listed, but not all of them. They are on the back of your chemistry cruncher, which is all over Schoology, okay? So they're kind of on the back side, kind of in the middle, all right? Mono means 1, di means 2, tri means 3, tetra is 4, penta is 5, hexa is 6. So that leaves us with 7, 8, 9, and 10. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Luis, you were volunteering? Yes? Okay. All right. So who knows any of these prefixes? How how many, if you have 10 years, what's that called? That is a decade. So 10 is deca. Very nice. 7 is close to hexa. It's not quite hexa, but it does start with a HE. It is hepta. Very nice. All right. 8, I think most of us know those. 8 is octo or octa. So you can put, if you put an A or O, it's fine. Okay. So octo or octa. And then 9 is nona. You do need to know these prefixes. So if you do not have them written down, take a second, go ahead and write those down for me, okay? I'll give you about a minute or 2. All right, so now we got your Greek prefixes. Let's start with something that you guys probably already know, all right? And then we'll work through these rules. The big thing is, all right, these are guys, if you've been good with ionic, you're gonna fly through covalent, okay? So the rules for when we're naming covalent, Name the first element. Okay, so we're right here in this box right here. Name the first element, no biggie. We're gonna use the prefixes to tell us how many we have. Okay, so the di, tris, nonas, octas, heptas, to tell me how many we have. All right, the only exception is, there's one exception to the rule. We're not gonna put mono if we only have one of the first element. Okay, we're not gonna put mono. And then your second element, you're gonna do the same thing. You're gonna tell me how many you have and tell me what the second element is, and we're gonna change the ending to I, just like we did for ion. So let me show you how easy it is. Now you're gonna be like, oh, that's why they named it that way, okay? So let's start with this one. Okay, I'm sure you all have seen this one before, okay? Can somebody tell me what the name of this is? This is carbon dioxide. Excellent. Notice we said carbon. We did not say monocarbon. There's only one. So this is carbon. Okay. And notice we knew this was oxide, but we said how many there was. There's two, and two is di. So this is dioxide. Dioxide. The di tells me that there's two oxygens. Easy peasy. Okay. All right. Here is something else, okay? This is a gas. Usually they have something to monitor this, make sure you don't have this in your house. You can get poisoned by it, all right? Let's look at what this one is, okay? Take a second, think about what you think it is, or see how if you can name it, okay? Looks a little bit different than the first one. Elizabeth got this one. Hopefully you did too. She said this one is still carbon, no mono, okay? But on this second one, there's only one oxygen, and we don't write ones, but there's one oxygen right here. So she said mono, and then she said oxide. So some people say carbon monoxide, carbon monoxide, same thing, okay? Carbon monoxide. Okay, carbon monoxide. All right. So I started with these because I figured you guys knew what these were. Just notice that we did not put mono on the first one. Okay, did not put mono on the first one. Let's try another one. Okay, so now we're gonna do some where we do need to put our how many we have. How about let's give oops, my shirt must be church. Let's give everyone the opportunity to think about this one. So you can write it down or think about what it is in your head. Write it down or think about what it is in your head. Let's give everybody about 30 seconds or 15. See if you can come up with it. Your ending does not change for your first element. Your ending doesn't change for your first element. I want to come to somebody online. We can break it up if you guys want to. So how about Gibson and Paul? Are you guys there, Gibson and Paul?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Gibson, how about for the first part? Paul, you can take the second half. Gibson, how many nitrogens do I have?
2.
2. And what's the prefix for 2? Your prefix is over here. What's the prefix for 2?
Di.
Di. So this is di, and what element is this again? What element?
Nitrogen.
Dinitrogen. Excellent. And then Paul, how about this element and how many we have?
So that's 5 oxygen.
Uh-huh.
So that's
so what's your prefix? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Penta oxygen. So.
Penta, so we're gonna change the ending just like we usually do. So penta what? Not oxygen, but ox what?
Oxide.
Yes, very nice. Pentaoxide. So this is dinitrogen pentaoxide. Okay. Easy, right? Hopefully these are easy. All right, let's try another one. How about, I'm just kind of making some up as I go. All right, here's another one. All right, how about for this one, let's do Ariane, are you there? How about Ariane and Melissa? Ariane and Melissa.
I'm here.
All right, Ariane, whenever you're ready, how about you do the P3 and then Melissa, how about you do the BR7, okay? And whenever you're ready, you just tell me. You can look back at some of the examples if you get a little lost. Okay. All right. Ready, Ariane?
No.
All right, can you tell me what element this is?
Potassium.
Not
I mean, not
quite.
potassium. What's it called?
I started you off right here.
Phosphorus.
Yes, phosphorus. And then can you find what the letters are for 3?
Tri.
Tri. So this is triphosphorus. All right, and then Melissa, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so how about the BR7? What do you want me to put for that? Find what the 7, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Hepta.
Hepta, and then what's BR?
Bromide.
Excellent, bromide. Triphosphorus, heptabromide. Okay, triphosphorus, heptabromide. Good job. All right, so now let's just go backwards. This is literally all it is, okay? So you're just making sure, like I said, the struggle will come when we have to mix these up, okay? But right now, I think you're gonna be just fine. So I'm going to erase this, okay? Clear. All right, so let's go down. Let's see if we went the other way around. I'm gonna give you 3 of these. And then you guys, I'll just take the temperature, see how you guys feel about them. All right. And if you feel okay, then that'll be pretty much it. All right, so let's try. There's 3 of these. I want you to try them on your own. Here's one. Here's an, oh, we already did this one. Boo. All right. There's one, and then let me give you another one. How about all right, see if you can write the formulas for these 3. The one I wrote and then the 2 that are circled. Although one of those we kind of already did. Okay. So take a second, see if you can work through those. All right, I'm gonna see if, oh, nice. All right, Chloe gave me one and I was gonna ask, oh, Chloe gave me one and let's see. Chloe gave me one. I'm gonna do the one that Chloe gave me. And then James, if you could give me one. And then, oh, James gave me one. Okay, let me do the ones that you guys just gave me. All right, so James gave me sulfur trioxide, he said it is SO3. He is correct, okay? Sulfur, I didn't put any numbers, anything in front of it, so it's just one. And then trioxide, tri means 3, so 3 oxygens. And then Chloe gave me tetrasulfur. Just make sure. Yep. So she gave me S4 because she knew that sulfur was S and she knew that tetra meant 4. And then she gave me nona iodide, nona iodide. She gave me an I, and then she gave me a 9 right here, and she is correct. All right. So I just need somebody, and we already did that nitrogen pentaoxide, but if you want to know what that was N2O5. All right. Anybody have questions about these? Anybody have questions about these? All right, so let me just give you a little heads up on the quiz. Because these are so easy, I do have some questions like these on here. That's what's the formula or how do you name it, okay? However, I'm trying to get us to the point where we're gonna start mixing, so I'm not gonna mix them just yet, but there are some questions that are gonna ask you, if I give you a formula, you should be able to tell me if it's ionic or if it's covalent, okay? And that is always based off of the fact that if it's covalent, you should know because it's going to start with a non-metal. The non-metal and a non-metal. But really, you can just look at the first one. If it starts with a non-metal, it's covalent. If it's ionic, what's it going to start with? What's going to be the first element if it's ionic? It's going to be a metal or one particular polyatomic. What is it? Anybody know the polyatomic that can start off? It's the only one that's positive. Nice job, Brooklyn. Ammonium, exactly, or NH4, okay? So you should be able to look at these and say, oh, if I say, hey, if I'm bonding between this and this, is it ionic or is it covalent? Well, if it starts with a non-metal, it's covalent, okay? There's no like non-metal, then metal. It's always non-metal, non-metal, okay? All right, any questions? I'm checking the chat to see if there's any questions or if anyone's unmuting. All right, your quiz. So again, let me switch to this screen. This sheet again is on Schoology. All right, I'm gonna switch to the periodic table. You should know where your staircase is, but it starts right here if you don't know. All right, and here's what you're working on. You're either working on from today, covalent nomenclature. That's the name of your quiz for today. I'm just gonna put nomen, okay? Okay, there was an ionic overview from last week that some of you guys either did not do or you did not do well on. Remember, I gave you 3 attempts on this one, okay? If you need help with that, you can private chat me. Make sure you private chat my name, not the one that says board, and let me know and I'll do a breakout room and we can work on some of that, okay? That is what you are working on today.